Welcome back, Janica. Welcome back to you, son. Welcome back, you two.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing, Janica? Okay, Neelan's back. Jamie's back. I'll just give everybody an opportunity, and we should have about 15 minutes effectively, I think. I'm going to use that 15 minutes just to, let's admit Deirdre quickly to the session 2. Quickly going to recap. I never know if somebody joins late. It was an absolute nightmare in the first semester when the business marketing I did for the BCom group. I had 65 students in the group from 4 different programs. BBM, BEM, BCDM, BCM, and taking attendance while you're doing an online session with 65 people. So I think that's, I'm quite happy. We initially decided that attendance will be done by the lecturer in the second semester, although it's still done online. But I see this morning some of you are on Moodle to attendance. That is what we're going to continue like you've done during the time. It will be available not throughout the day because, I mean, how can you take attendance before 8 o'clock in the morning if we haven't even started with the first period? Okay, so your attendance will be from 8 o'clock in the morning when the campus basically is open, and your attendance will run till the end of the day. So I'm not going to, and it's done per day, people. And yes, obviously some of you will take the opportunity, but then because these sessions are recorded, you can't really hide because Big Brother's watching you all the time. If we have 2 periods like you have today, you only have to do attendance once. You can do the attendance after the first period and not attend the second period. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Some of you actually, if it was on campus, didn't return for the second class anyway. So it's possible. Or they had clashes with classes. I mean, I can understand that. So you are going to be expected to do attendance once a day from 8 o'clock in the morning till 11:55 tonight. And at the end of the term, when our academic office reconciles all the different databases, we will be able to, and that's where we pick up that students have signed in, but they haven't attended the session because, I mean, we can see in the in the participation box that not everybody is attending the session. So it's not to catch you. It's not to catch you out. It's just to ensure that at the end of the day, people, and you don't know on all. We haven't. I think as we go along on a daily basis, we realize the impact and how much we have to adjust on a daily basis with COVID-19. It's not a question of we want to catch you out that you have attended or marked your attendance, but you haven't attended the session. It's a question of people. If somebody tests positive for COVID-19 and we have to track back to where and when it happened. Remember that you guys are doing it online at the moment. A third of our students, the guys in final year in design, the IT guys, and the third year students, they're all back on campus as from today. So we need to track and see where it can happen because then we know who they've been in contact with. So it's not just for the obvious reasons of ensuring that you have attended the session or not that we're doing this. Okay, so attendance, again on Moodle, there's a little folder created for you like it was during lockdown. We continue in that same fashion and it's your responsibility to mark your attendance on a daily basis for the sessions. But it's just per day, not per session, okay? Right, everybody that now had quickly gone to the men's and the ladies, maybe refilled the cups of coffee. I get Rowan back. You had your coffee refills. Welcome back. We have about 15 minutes. We can quickly wrap up what we have done so far and start with our first session. I'm just going to give you the rundown on what to expect. You guys know, I mean, the methods have not changed, even if it's done differently. The methods have not changed. Start every session with the breakdown of what we expect and what we attempt to achieve in a particular session. I'm going to go to the share screen now, and I'm going to share the screen with you guys. The shared screen that we're going to, I'm going to show you now would be that one, which is our PowerPoint. Enlarge that a bit. Can everybody see that? You can just give me a thumbs up. Everybody see the PowerPoint? Good. If Danica sees it, Susan sees it. Everybody, Landon, thank you, Jamie. Right. To also revert back to your question during the first session about the manual that we use, there's a nice little picture of the manual, what it looks like, or the textbook for that matter. It's a 4th edition. There are the authors, and it's also highlighted there. So if you want to obtain the book, there's the ISBN number as well. Okay. So what is personal selling about? You guys can quickly, I'm going to ask you a question in general. I would like to get your feedback first. So unmute yourself, or I unmute you. What is your first impression? What is the image that comes to mind when I'm telling you I'm a salesperson? Personal selling is done one-on-one by individual, male or female. What is the first image that comes to mind when you when I say, oh, that person is a salesperson? What is that image on the screen? What comes to mind, or you have a different idea? What is a salesperson for you, in your opinion?
Somebody that's trying to sell you, somebody that's trying to sell something to you, sir.
And often somebody is trying to sell something to you that you don't need or don't want or don't have the money for, right?
Yes.
It's a borderline annoyance of, oh, no, this guy's just not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to buy this thing just to get rid of him, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
So,
very sure.
Yes. I think that the sales, I think that sales people have created through the bad apples in the bunch they have created a very bad image for the whole profession. Not everybody is like that. What we're going to try and do is not break down those that image that you have of what a personal or salesperson is. What we're going to do is we're going to rather give you the characteristics of what a good salesperson or was expected of a good salesperson, and those characteristics could be there are so many, but we'll get back to that later in the next class, in the next period. Let's just focus and get back to the current session. What we're going to try and achieve, and what this first chapter on personal selling is about, and it pretty much is an introduction to personal selling, is that, and remember from business marketing, those last chapters that we did, your marketing communications mix. Can you still remember from the first semester? I think there was a question in the exam about it as well. Personal selling is one of the components of the marketing communications mix. Remember, other ones were advertising and stuff like that, personal selling, one of them. Okay. So for some of you, the penny drops now, and we realize, thank you, Neelan, that, oh my goodness, these are not just modules that are separate from each other. They are definitely some overlapping here. We're also going to be looking at what the role is specifically of salespeople and personal selling in the economy. We're going to find, obviously, like we always do with all different, all new modules, we're going to try and find and explain a definition for personal selling. And then we're going to ensure that you know that quite clearly what the difference is between personal selling and direct selling, because they're not the same. As I've said earlier on in the session, we'll be looking at the characteristics of what a good salesperson, characteristics a good salesperson should have. And then we'll briefly be looking, and let me just readmit Dana there, who's joining us via her iPhone. Careers, what's the prospects for you in sales? Or are there prospects in sales? And as I said, also I'm going to finish off the chapter with spending some time on specifically the challenges that salespeople will have or currently are experiencing in lockdown, and then also our post-COVID-19 selling, how the landscape looks and what new challenges we'll be faced with, and what we can do, or what we should do, because personal selling is not going to just disappear. It's not, oh geez, this is one of the professions that as a result of COVID-19 have ceased to exist. It's going to be different, and this is part of what we're going to attempt to do. We're looking into this module on what is required for you to be a good salesperson, what is the processes that have traditionally been used and has been effective, but we look at what the new normal of personal selling would look like, to prepare us specifically for the challenges that COVID-19 has offered us. Usually, traditionally, when a deal is done, because personal selling is about a one-on-one process, it is done with a handshake. You go in, you buy a car, you fill in all the paperwork. Before you drive the car out of the dealership, there's a handshake between you and the salesperson, and he hands you the keys. You can't do that nowadays. You can't do that nowadays. You can't do it anymore. So there will be, and that's just one example of some of the challenges that we, the personal touching and keeping social distance and restrictions, that how that will impact on personal selling. But as I said earlier on, everybody can sell. It's not, you're not just born a salesperson. Everybody sells. That's how we get our way in life. I mean, I saw a very interesting and acute image the other day of two primary school kids. They're having a lemonade sale at school. So there's this young, I think it's probably grade seven girl standing at a table selling lemonade, and then there's obviously a young man, also grade 7, who's trying to, or who's hopefully buying lemonade. But you can also see that he likes her, and I think that's what immediately that image struck me as very relevant, because that's what we do on a daily basis. When you're going to for a job interview, you are selling yourself. So selling is not just buying a product or trying to sell a product to somebody who needs it, or it's more than that. And that's, as I said, why selling is more important and more evident in our daily lives that we actually would like to believe. Selling is when you want or is trying to persuade somebody else by using your personal persuasion skills to agree to your point of view. That's what personal what personal selling is about. You're trying to persuade somebody to buy the product that you are selling. Okay, we've got 1 minute to finish the session, and I'm going to wrap up on this page, and then we all take a nice 25-minute break, and we join for the second period, and we'll finish on chapter 1. As you can see, that the skills that you use for sales, you can also use in other professions, like law, for instance, and journalism, advertising, sponsorship, accounting, sport. You can just, I mean, football players, they are trying to sell their idea of if the pass was forward, if that guy was offside or not, to the referee. So we use it on all different levels in life, people. But again, I think at the end of the day, most businesses realize that if you have somebody who's good in sales and have the good qualities, that your business is more than likely going to be very successful. Guys, this is the end of the session. This is where we finish our first hour, our first period, period number 2. I'll see you back in about 2 or 3 minutes. No, I'll see you back in 25 minutes, and then we'll resume chapter 1 and look more into the specific steps in the selling process, as well as the characteristics of a good salesperson. Thanks very much. You're more than welcome. Is there anybody who wants to ask a question? Because this is what I usually do at the end of every class, and this is the end of this class. Any questions? You can unmute yourself and just ask the question if you want to, or you can write it down and ask me in the next period. Any questions? No questions at this point? Good. Thanks, guys. I'll look at whatever is in the chat box, and I'll respond to that after the break. Okay. See you guys in 25 minutes. Thanks very much. Thumbs up here too. Thank you.